So yeah, thanks for the opportunity just to share my experience with this kind of little project or large project. And the other thing I'd like to say as well is I started this project well before COVID kicked in. This was an ongoing part of converting first year biology to a blended learning kind of mode. But I was exceedingly lucky that I'd planned to, publish the final versions of these short videos exactly in week 5 when we transitioned to the online learning. So yeah, incredibly serendipitous. But nevertheless, I thought it might be worthwhile sharing my experience with this kind of thing. Okay, so again, this is part of a larger kind of transition to blended learning. The challenges in kind of moving this way after, teaching this course for, I think this is my 5th year now teaching it kind of face-to-face. The main challenges that I saw for doing this was the incredible amount of content in first year biology. So, this is kind of a joke, it's really a comical joke. It's very, in other words, it's very difficult to kind of replicate all that content with short videos, so 240 videos, for example. So that was one of the challenges. The level of pitch was another challenge. A lot of the students doing the course have little or no prior knowledge of biology. So, getting that level at the right was a bit of a challenge that I saw. And the other thing I've learned with teaching first year biology is that really the teaching support is more emotional rather than kind of academic. So it's more about, encouraging them, comforting them that things will, make sense and they'll get through that course. And again, I thought I saw an opportunity for short videos to potentially tick that box off as well. Again, given the face-to-face contact with the student, I did find it was a bit of a challenge to address that low student confidence. So making sure that these short videos could address that somehow. And I'm looking to make separate videos that are not necessarily about content, but just videos about how you should approach first year biology and how you should get through the course, and trying to give them some, level of expectation of how they're progressing through that course. And the other big seller that I try to do in a face-to-face environment is sell the relevance of basic biology in their scientific degree. And again, that's another aspect that I wanted to try and address in these short videos, but a challenging one. So again, the development of the short videos, and I've got 2 so far, are not really to take the place of the online lectures, but to enhance them. So to kind of get them excited about this week's lecture, get them to go and engage with the recorded lecture. So why did I explore this possibility of short videos? Again, I think the other thing I've learned about first year biology, it's a lot about entertaining the students. And I really thought that this might be a good way to do that. And I've used, anecdotes, research anecdotes, as we all do, personal stories. So, I'm a Newcastle person. I did my undergraduate degree in science here at Newcastle. So, those kind of stories seem to work pretty well. The other thing I was conscious of as well is that a person being on screen is important. So again, this lends itself to the short videos. Now, the other thing that kind of really excited me about doing this is very nerdily. I love watching some of the PBS YouTube videos that are around, especially around astrophysics, for example. So I've actually used some of those, the style of those kind of videos, and tried to replicate that because I find them, incredibly engaging and interesting. And also I've had some personal interest in video production. So, way back when I was a teenager, audio recording and these kind of things. So I had the basic, I suppose, skill set to do these kind of videos already. So the goals for this project was really an enticement for the students to better engage in an online space. I should have mentioned before that first year biology is kind of already set up to be an online course. Essentially, there's 2 lots of 2-hour lecture / tutorials a week, and they have online quizzes. So again, this was just to help them maintain or enhance that engagement in the course as we moved. Everyone kind of moved online. And also, what I wanted to do with these kind of projects is really try and nail down the importance and the relevance of this kind of knowledge for their degree. The other goal aspect of this was, can we make kind of decent videos on the cheap? So, using kind of office work equipment, and I've seen some people link, a USB podcasting mics, and I'm using one right now, and I use the same one to do these videos as well. So, and again, acquire student feedback. So we're after delivering these out and then getting the students' view on whether it's helped them, or and whether we should make some more of these. And the questions I had for myself, of course, I was very nervous about what the students think. I was a bit apprehensive of getting myself on camera. No one else would offer to do it, unfortunately. But yeah, I was quite nervous about what they thought about that. How much time will it take me to do that? And I really underestimated that. And what I was really curious about, what kind of production quality we could achieve just using the kind of basic setup that we had. So again, I was able to produce 2 videos. One was delivered in week 5. Again, very lucky that it was the same week that we moved online. And then the second one was in week 7. And that's just a kind of a summary of the kind of style of videos that I've been trying to make for the class. Again, the timeline, I really started planning at the end of 2018. And this was encouraged by Clovia Holdsworth and Mike Boyer. To start looking at this. And then I started filming at the start of 2019. And then the editing is really what took the most amount of time. Even though I was familiar with the software, it really did take a lot of time. So I just did that kind of mostly in the mid between semesters and at the end of the year last year. And that was ready to then release in the final version, at least this year. Again, very lucky. So the equipment that I used, again, is kind of office worky kind of equipment. I used my mobile phone, kind of set up on a tripod. Lucky that my mobile phone's got a reasonably good camera in it. It can do 4K video, for example. I use a USB audio mic, and I use pretty rudimentary space setup in the Bold Lab, or LDTI space, as you can see there. But again, I think the outcome was pretty good. The editing, I used Premiere, Adobe Premiere, to do that. And again, I was familiar with that software as well, but I've been talking to Nick from LDTI about how we might push ahead with larger scale production. So, to produce another 10 videos of this, I'm certainly not going to invest all my time doing that, but looking to see whether the LDTI group can help with the editing. And I've got a little bit of a summary on how we might be able to do that. So the feedback, the all-important feedback. So this was set up by the Student and Staff Insights as a pulse survey. The respondents were a little bit down on what I'd kind of hoped, but given the turmoil at that time, it's probably a pretty good number. So around 10%. And some students took the time to email me directly because they miss, the time frame. So the feedback was surprisingly good. I wasn't really prepared how positive it was. We asked questions like, do these videos enhance your understanding of the concepts? And you can see about 90% of the students agree. The one that I was really interested in is about the stimulation. So do these videos encourage engagement in the course? And again, I was really surprised how high that was. So 80% of the students agree that does add stimulation to the course. And the other one, which was really surprising, was the additional videos. Would you like additional videos like this through your course? And that was overwhelmingly positive. So about 95% of students agree that would be a good thing. So that's, again, very encouraging. Just kind of things like, I had a pretty good idea, I think, about how to produce the videos at the right level, but that was confirmed by the students. And the length was good. So one of the videos was 10 minutes, one of them was 6 minutes. So most people agreed that they were good length of time. Got the bell, thanks. Cool. So the qualitative feedback was really good as well, surprising. So generally speaking, it suggested that these short videos help them get prepared for the week's lecture, so that they, as the first person said, that it's not as daunting when you get into the lecture. Other people suggested that it was also a good review material for that week's lecture as well. And interestingly, given the COVID situation, there was lots of comments like this that suggested that these videos really help them maintain their engagement or enhance their engagement in the course. So yeah, very, very happy and encouraged about that kind of stuff, and that they would like to see more videos. So the pipeline, which I'm talking to Nick about at the moment for larger scale production, so for myself doing some more, and if any other people are potentially interested in doing this kind of thing, is the way I found it the most easily way to do it is to just convert your PowerPoint lectures into some sort of storyboard, and that's kind of what I've done. Here's the early storyboard down the bottom, and that's the kind of final result for the video. And it really does help. Having those storyboards really does help. You might see me kind of look down occasionally using those lectures to prompt the recording of this. And again, I'm talking to Nick about how we might design these kind of slides and storyboards into basically handing over the storyboards to the editing staff and the recorded videos, and getting them to edit that. So this is just an example of one of the very first kind of storyboards, or whatever you want to call it, that I wrote that made it in. Yeah, so most of the storyboard ideas were very highly edited, but it was just interesting that one kind of made it through pretty much as it is. The other thing I noticed too, which again was a bit of luck, I suppose, was that what I tried to do is maintain on the key learning goals for that particular lecture, and make sure that the content of that lecture was, the short video was light, but focused on that content. And that, I think, has really worked out well, where many students have said that it's also served as a good revision tool for that week's content as well. So that's a lesson that I've learned. I think it worked out pretty well using those kind of concepts. The other thing I'm talking to Nick about is about how we might go ahead and make 2-hour lectures, obviously broken down into smaller chunks, and potentially filming someone give a lecture and then blending those in with the existing lecture slides might be something that we could look at if there's some interest there. So just the resources that I used for this initially was the course development funding, and that was really encouraged by Clovier and Mike, and thanks to them for getting me involved. I really loved the experience. The BIOL and now LDTI facilities have been excellent. Andrew there helped me with bits and pieces when I first started off, and Nick's really been amazing in terms of ideas and support, and a few little helps with editing that I wasn't quite sure about, and I'm hoping to talk to him much more about how we can move forward for that. Okay, thank you.